Welcome back to Inside the WCHA. Now we're joined by Shane Frederick, writer for the Mankato Free Press. Shane, thanks for coming on today.
You're welcome, no problem.
We'll jump right into things, talking about some of the surprises you've seen so far in the WCHA. What's been the most surprising to you as the season's played out so far?
I think it's got to be Bemidji State and Lake Superior State and their starts to the season. I think, they're teams that last year maybe looked like they might be on the rise, but you never know what's going to happen in this league and how teams are going to go from one year to the next. But I think that, watching the way they started and so far have been able to maintain that, I think that's been the biggest thing. I think there have been other years where you see maybe 2 weeks in, you see a team that surprises teams a little bit and then maybe comes back to earth a little bit, and they haven't done that so far.
So coming into this weekend's matchup, which series do you look at and say this is like the most important game this weekend?
Well, I think I really think it's the team I cover, Minnesota State University, and playing at home against Bemidji State. They're 1-2 in the conference right now, with Bemidji State leading the way, and they're both ranked in the top 15. It's a rivalry that goes back to their Division II days. You look at the end of last season, Bemidji State came to Mankato and got a big win on the last night of the regular season. That kind of spoiled Minnesota State's chances to win the McNaughton Cup outright. There's a lot of history there. There's a lot of, and I think it's just a really good rivalry. And you look at how these two teams have started this year. Minnesota State has slipped a little bit with a few series splits, but if they want to try to maintain some pace against the Beavers, I think that these are important home games for them. And on the flip side, it's a chance for Bemidji State to really continue to add some separation at the top of the standings between them and the second place team and whoever else is following behind. So I think it's a huge weekend, and it should be a lot of fun in Mankato, I think.
Another team we kind of talked about a little bit ago, Lake Superior State.
Mm-hmm.
They're ranked for the first time this week, coming in at the 20. And they're playing against Tech this weekend, battle of the 4 and the 5 seeds. How do you see that one shaping up?
I think it's another great matchup in the league this weekend. I'll be curious to see. I think I'll have that up on my laptop before the games in Mankato, and being able to watch a little bit of that. What's interesting is I had a chance to talk to Mike Hastings after Saturday night's game in Sault Ste. Marie, the Minnesota State coach, Mike Hastings, and he said, they're legit. I mean, they're good. They are a team that can score goals. They're a team that has been very good in special teams. And again, they're a team that started off a little bit in surprising fashion with some wins, but have maintained that. And now they play a kind of a rival, an Upper Peninsula rival in Michigan there, and I think that should be another great matchup. But I think, I also think it's great for the league to see, a few different teams sprinkled in at the top, and Lake Superior State's one of them right now. And I saw them last year at the end of the season. They came to Mankato. They won the Saturday night game in the best of 3 series. They forced a Sunday third game to get to the Final 5. Gordy DeFile was phenomenal in goal and continues to be rock solid there. And now they're scoring a lot of goals. So they're a good team, and Tech will have its hands full, that's for sure.
So kind of with some of these new teams this year that have come into play and doing really well so far, how do you see the standings shaping up as the year progresses?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I think it's some of the other surprises are the rough starts that Bowling Green has had and that Ferris State has had, and for the last few years there's kind of been a faction of teams at the top that include those teams, and Minnesota State that now, and in Michigan Tech that you're seeing the standings kind of shaken up a little bit. And I'll be curious to see over the next we're a little over a month into the season. I'll be curious to see over the next month, up until the holiday break for teams, what teams are able to do and where things stand kind of at the midway point. But you have some teams that are in pretty good shape to stay at the top. And, so I'll be curious to see, what those teams do. I have a feeling some of those down teams will bounce back a little bit, but I think some of those teams up at the top have enough juice going for them right now to stay there and make it a real tight race for the second half of the season.
Thanks again for joining us today, Shane.
You're welcome.